Welcome to Badly Written Boy, a reciting of my teenage years and my 20s, now as a 40-something. How do I remember all these things? I wrote it all down in a diary. Badly. Enduring with me on this retrospective, cringeworthy experience is my wife, who has never read my diaries. Welcome to another episode of Badly Written Boy. We are joined today by a special guest for the first ever time on the podcast. Welcome, Sinead Lyons.
Thank you very much. It's actually Sinead Lyons. I'm very honoured to be here. Thank you.
Welcome. So Sinead is my friend from England who now lives in New Zealand. Big fan of the show, I assume.
Very big fan of the show.
Big fan of the show.
I've never listened to it. But I've got all 15 episodes downloaded for my plane ride back to New Zealand. Can't wait to hear them. And I don't know what I've signed myself up for, but I'm very excited.
So basically how this works is we've got diaries that I've written every single day from my teenage years and my 20s. We talk through each day, and at this stage of my life, I'm pretty much, Casanova. The women are lining up. I just don't even know how I ended up with Jess, but It's,
So you can tell from the laugh that as Sinead, having known you for 15 years, this may not be completely true.
I'm keeping an open mind. I'm ready to learn new things.
Yeah.
So we are 2004, middle of his final year of university.
It's pretty much the end of the final year.
Yeah, he's still a virgin.
Okay.
Let's just put that out there.
Are you trying to embarrass me or something? Okay, let's get into it. June the 1st. Well, after last night, I wasn't up for much. Less demoralised at this point, but increasingly hungover. I pieced together the acts of last night. I left the pub and continued drinking. A sixth beer and a bottle of wine had sent me into a drunk, hooliganised state. We shouted at the TV, which was showing the Division 3 playoff final, and then, if I remember correctly, I slumped over the card table and Matt began scrawling on my arm in permanent marker. Initially, I didn't realise this, but I grabbed his arm in a swift action, scaring the crap out of him. It had been too late to prevent the messages Mark Lewis, Jackson, Izza, and Haisu, and
How
various other...
How can you say that it's swift when he's managed to write your entire name and various other things, and you say that it was a swift action?
Well, as swift as it can be after that many beers. The low point of the day was certainly disposing of the glass of puke I presumed I'd created last night.
You are gross, man. I think I've always made it to a toilet or a sink.
I've never spewed from alcohol in my life.
What?
Honestly, it's a true story.
What?
I'm an absolute raving alcoholic, but I've never spewed from alcohol.
I think that makes you more of an alcoholic than I thought you were.
I think so, yeah.
Because your tolerance is...
I agree.
Or have you taken it far enough?
Well, actually, if anyone who knows me is listening to this, they know the answer to that.
They do.
And actually, many strangers also know the answer to that, which is absolutely, definitely yes.
The pressure of work got to me a bit today. I was in at uni well early to sort out my display board.
Maybe you should be drinking on
Probably
that, not
11 o'clock.
working
11
for the
o'clock
past
in the
2
morning.
months.
What does a display board involve?
Drawing pictures and putting it on the wall for people to say, "Ooh, that's good."
Ooh.
I'm glad I stayed up last night to do some of it. I thought I was drinking it.
Oh.
No, I think yesterday
Was
you
the
were
hangover day,
recovering. Yeah, that's why you had to clean out the vomit cup.
It might have been a bit of a shit job, but I really didn't care anymore. The display itself has caught some people's attention with its use of lights, candles and fairy lights. So I think I tried to stick the board on the wall, but then decorate the edges of it with some illumination.
It's very masculine, very masculine.
Very masculine, yes.
You put a fairy light on your display board. Amazing.
What were you doing at uni? What were you studying?
Landscape architecture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I probably just tarnished the whole industry there. I'd rather have a wicked display board than a turd sketchbook. So I've essentially ditched the job with the sketchbook and bought candles and fairy lights instead.
Best thing is if you put it underneath and you set the whole thing on fire.
And then literally claim the work's all burnt.
Yeah,
and get
exactly.
another extension.
Yeah. Sinead, would you like to?
Oh, I'd love to.
Oh, look, June the 3rd, my birthday. How wonderful. Did you celebrate?
What a great date. Oh, you've actually got pretty neat writing. I'm impressed. Do you want me to put a voice on or just speak normally?
I think if you just speak normally.
Okay, cool.
What voice were you going to put on instantly?
I was just going to put your voice on.
Oh, please, no, please start
I'll do
with
it.
that.
I'll have to build up to that, okay? Okay, I'm not sure when I strained my back, but I do know
You
it
are
was
so
before the
old.
football. It knacked all day, and I ended up buying some Nurofen to take. Such was the pain. The football itself.
So dramatic. Such was the pain.
It'll get more dramatic. We're only talking about Nurofen at the moment. Wait till we get to the good stuff. The football itself was pretty good, despite the sore back. I actually forgot about it when I was playing, and it was only when I stopped when I noticed it again. At the end of the game, another swimmer.
I used to
He was a
swim.
swimmer.
Oh, so I thought you were playing football.
I was, but
He's
there's
very
a
sporty,
team
Sinead.
with a bunch of swimmers.
Oh, I was like, but we're playing football, but there's a swimmer here. Okay, I understand.
He's not just lying on the pitch trying to swim.
I was
through,
like, hold on a minute,
gravel.
where did the swimmer come from? I went straight home to get ready to go to Fuzz. I wasn't sure if I should even go with my back, but I decided I may as well. It just meant I would be sitting down most of the time. Myself, Chris and Matt, sick of the junk food of Bar 1, decided to go to the interval for dinner. There's something
Junk food.
a bit healthier. What did he have? What do you think he had?
He probably had a kebab without cheese.
Deep fried Mars bars.
He actually had a very healthy meal. I had a chili con carne, which was really nice. If a little too small a portion. Fuzz was okay, but I just sat about drinking whiskey cokes.
This is just a running theme, so rather than give myself any rest whatsoever, I just push on and either go to the pub or buy a kebab or do something
I
else.
mean, that's what I would do.
And then complain about your life some more.
Yeah.
Or drink whiskey cokes.
We're not going to hear the end of this back. My guess is the back goes on for 6 days. I reckon on the 10th of June is the last time we'll hear of it.
Okay, let's see. Would you like me to read the next thing?
Please.
I'm excited. I just want to skip ahead. That's what I do. I'm just on edge. The plan.
This is skipping ahead. You've met Mark. You know how it ends.
Here we are in Adelaide. The plan today was to go down to Bar 1 and watch cricket all day. England were playing their second test match against New Zealand at Headingley, but it was on Sky. Hence the visit to Bar 1. Oh, you couldn't afford Sky in them days.
Sky was expensive.
Yeah, it was. I agree. The cricket was intensely boring, but fortunately, I brought down some reading material.
So what?
You were so boring.
How nerdy is that?
You are
You
such
brought
a
some
boring
reading
person.
So all these people glued to a TV watching cricket, and I'm just sat in the corner with a book.
No,
Yeah.
it'd be best if the reading material was like an FHM magazine or like a nudie rag.
I'm sorry.
But this is like, I think this is about the second time I've talked about even reading a book.
Yeah.
This whole
so-
university term.
What? No, it wasn't FHM in answer to your question. It was Rock Sound and Matt's copy of The Beach.
The beach.
Actual literature.
Yes. The beach, that's classic.
Unless it's like where people have like a Bible on the outside and they actually just have FHM on the inside.
Jeez, what do you think? I'm some sort of pervert.
I hadn't anticipated so many more people coming down to Bar 1 and looking at me reading my book. That's
That's what they're all doing. Oh, look at him up there. He's so intelligent. He's reading a book. Everybody cares.
But and it was on a Friday as well, Mark. I mean, if it was on a Monday, I would have been like, okay, fair enough, you're
That's bad
taking it
form.
easy. But a Friday night, sunny weather, and nearly the end of the exam period.
That's what I mean.
I brought it on
So-
myself.
We're 4 days in and Sinead has already realised that you weren't actually Casanova. You were a massive loser.
No, I'm just, hopefully that will come on the next page. I'm quite looking forward to the change, how you just wake up one day and...
I think I sound educated.
Very academic, very academic.
Yeah.
Even though the term's virtually finished.
Yeah. And you put fairy lights to make your thing look better. The actual design wasn't good enough, so you had to try and make it look better. So
Yeah, look at the lights, look at the lights.
I'm actually blown away that you've solidly written in this every day.
Yeah.
It's intense.
That's amazing.
For years.
That
and
is a big
years.
commitment.
Yeah.
That's a life commitment. I wish you still were writing.
I don't think we want to. It'll just be arguments with me and him.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as interesting now. Like back then, like I don't know why I kept writing. I think it was like it was good as almost like a sort of therapy tool.
Before TikTok.
Before TikTok, before anyone spoke about their feelings.
Yeah. The landscape ecologists had finished an exam and were in the interval beer garden whilst Ollie and Costa were up on the roof drinking with their housemates and Matt and Nikki were drinking with another set of mates. So I was all over the place. I wasn't really up for any serious drinking. And for the whole time, I was down at Bar 1, which was about 7 hours. You must have read both them books, I reckon. I only had one pint. 7 hours.
This is surprising. This is the least drinking I think I've done in a pub.
And
the
you
whole
finished
year.
and you handed your stuff in.
Yeah.
I'm very shocked. But guys, hold on. There's a big update coming. Good going. My back is a bit better.
Oh, there we go. It's
So
the Nurofen.
I'm hoping it will have healed enough by tomorrow for paintballing. Yeehaw!
Okay, so today is called paintballing / Helen fantasy.
Oh, who's Helen?
We're about to find out. Today is brilliant. Paintballing isn't for the faint-hearted, but the element of pain adds a whole new dimension to the game. I gave as good as I got, acting as a sniper regularly, picking off the unsuspecting enemy. I felt it brought me closer to those I never knew amongst the swimming contingent. Sometimes he writes like he's trying to be a poet desperately.
He's probably been reading books the day before, so he was
he's so
feeling
educated. He
Yeah,
found
exactly.
some big words he could put in.
Yeah.
This evening was even better. First, I went to Matt 40's for a bit of a house party. Then I went down to a sold-out Pop-Tarts. Is that a club?
Oh, it's just one of the nights that the union put on.
Anita, Rachel, and another girl called Helen who took a real shining to me.
Oh, here we go. Here comes the good stuff.
Well, there are girls that have taken a shining to him in
But
inverted
not a real
commas
shining.
before. It's just Mark's imagination. He's very imaginative.
Possibly just another girl looking at me from a distance.
Yeah, or like
Or he just
saying
caught
I
your
should
eye
not
by
remember his
accident.
name.
Yeah.
To me, she's told babe. I went along with it. Of course she did. Like you were going to say no. It's so funny. And the electricity is definitely there. Let's hope the sparks fly. Next day, still feeling great. Forgotten about the back now.
Yep.
All the pains in the penis. Got Helen's number. Yeah.
Nice.
What? Oh dear. The mask of happiness I had been wearing from the events of the past days was reluctantly removed today.
No.
The
What's the-
mask
what-
of happiness. It wasn't
Like, are we
even
going
true
to
happiness.
predict the devastation? What's going to have happened here?
Helen, I think you went to bar one and you saw a flirtatious dancing towards someone
Or
else.
maybe I went up to her and she was like, "Who are you?"
Oh, that would hurt.
That would be pretty
hurt.
scathing.
To my dismay, there now seems little chance of any immediate contact with Helen, in person at least. This is because she has gone home to London.
There could be.
It burst my bubble. I'd waited to text her until today on the grounds of some kind of anti-desperation cliche.
One whole day.
I've been watching Swingers. You're never supposed to call the next day.
We don't play games.
Nah, these are the rules.
There are no rules.
Of course there are. You can't call someone straight away.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, but that's pretty much straight away anyway, like the morning after.
Yeah,
Yes.
it pretty much is.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to make any contact until at least 24 hours after first contact. Some say 48 hours, but I'm not one for waiting about.
Swingers.
Did you have like a little clock running timer? Ding ding. Let's
Yeah.
Checking your watch every 2 minutes.
Yeah. Put a little note on my fridge.
I moped about for most of the day with a hole in my heart.
Oh my god.
You met this girl for
It's
5
hit.
minutes.
It's hit me hard.
You met this girl for 5 minutes. I consoled myself with singable music as I cleaned my room and did several hours of ironing. You did not do several hours of ironing.
I am fucking Mark Corrigan.
Jess, is the bad back going to come back?
I think so.
Especially after several hours of ironing.
I think so, like leaning over your ironing board.
Just weeping.
I know.
Didn't need a steamer or anything.
I prepared myself for a few beers in front of the telly. I fancied watching Human Traffic. I became slightly bored and thought, you sad bastard, get back out there after your long-term relationship with Helen.
Yes.
Don't sit on the couch thinking of her. Go find your next 30-second girlfriend.
Get back to bar one and read the beach with one pint.
You're getting ahead of yourself. She was never my girlfriend.
Then why do you need to get back out there? You were never in there.
What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness. I remember there was a landscape architecture social on at Vodka Revs. So I whipped up a look and made for the town. Just so you know, Mark's favourite look right now is brown corduroy pants with a matching brown shirt.
Am
Do
I
you
still
do
in that?
sandals?
I don't think there was ever
We-
sandals.
No, we didn't mention the shoes.
Probably brown shoes
Probably.
to match the brown cords and the Marvin the
Interesting.
Martian beige t-shirt.
There wasn't much architecture, I know, and even less landscape. 40 was there, so I told him about it. I had to tell someone. As impressed as he was, I couldn't help feeling like I missed my window with Helen. You window again.
She's still
was
in London.
about 30 minutes.
Of
And she's only gone to London. She's not like moved to Australia.
So she wasn't at uni where you were. Is that the issue?
genuinely can't remember who this Helen character is.
So you were that devastated about it and you can't even remember.
Yeah, I blocked it from my mind.
It's the trauma.
Trauma
As
response.
people
me,
do
you
with
know.
traumatic events.
Trauma response.
Yeah. We're up to the 8th. It says hottest day of the year yet. What a scorcher. Despite drinking antics last night, I motivated myself for a swim this morning. I got to the Goodwin Sports Centre by around 9. I swam for an hour and then I went down to the bank to extend my overdraft further.
Sensible financial decisions.
Mistakes were made. By midnight, I'll be £500 in the red.
Great.
Yeah, the Milky Bars are on me. I went on the bus to Netto's from there, in all its classiness, to buy lots of fruit. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to lose weight. I want to look shit hot for Australia, and I'm thinking if I can start emailing Helen on a regular basis,
You are obsessed.
I might visit her in London. So stalkerish behaviour. When I got back to the house, fruit and sweat laden, I got a text from Ewan. The final essay marks are back. I was tempted down by this and also possibly that Helen may have emailed me. She hadn't, instantly. My essay
That's a shock.
my essay grade was another shitter, a 48. Again, what the hell is wrong with me? I suck at planning. I was again very disappointed, but pretty much got over it by the time I was checking out Malaysia on the net. Langkawi specifically. Beautiful beaches, pools, landscape, places to go, fucking paradise. In a little more than a year, I'll be there.
So he's doing gap year in Australia. And it goes like August this year.
It's going to be in the diary.
Yeah,
I'm
it
so
is, yeah.
excited. Things can only get better.
I wasn't particularly nervous about the external examiner business, but when I got to floor 3 and found Anita waiting outside, the fear in the air soon induced me. I'm glad I hadn't made a big deal about it because it wasn't a big deal. I just talked to this lady for a few minutes and she didn't have too much to ask. In fact, when she asked me...
About the fairy lights.
I think she may be distracted by the fairy lights.
She was blinded.
She's just bemused. In fact, when she asked me if I had anything to ask, I even tempted fate by asking her if she had any criticisms of my built form layout.
That's actually a really good thing to do.
You reckon?
Yeah.
What, in terms of the lighting or?
No, I think not in terms of the lighting, but asking for criticism is a positive thing. Like it shows that you can accept, criticism and that you're open to improving
Yeah,
your design. Like actively asking for it, I think is a really good thing.
it's a good point. I have some devastating news.
Oh, is it about Helen?
Or is it your back?
It's the back. Tell me.
I was in bar 1. That was where Anita told me about Helen's 6-foot South African boyfriend.
Oh no.
Now, I get the impression that Helen
Did you
has
cry
told...
right there and then?
Are you going to let me read?
Okay, go on, read.
Now I get the impression that Helen has told Anita to get this in the conversation at some stage, as if to say, back down.
How many times did you text her? That's what I want to know. How many times have you emailed her? Hi Helen, just checking. I haven't received your email yet, so I just want to know if it's gone to like my junk mail or anything. Please send again. Like how many times?
Probably blocked me by this stage. So was I played? Why? Why had she so gladly handed
Smiled
her
at
number?
me.
She handed her number to me. There you go. The face of this whole saga may be so different from the one that now exists. Had I actually made a pass on this girl Saturday night. Later this evening, I made it clear to Anita I was glad this information had reached me because the last thing I want is some meathead on my back. I suppose it was too good to be true. I mean, eesh. What are the chances of me actually finding a bird I fancy who isn't already hitched?
So
There's no
Very
chance. I'm
defeatist.
no chance.
June the 10th, Thursday. I showed endurance today by going to Fuzz Club, a 5th night out in 6 days. It was pretty good. I've been drinking with Matt since about 4:30 down in bar 1. He was there with Nikki, but she left after a while, so we got tanked up for Fuzz. In an increasingly rare fashion, I danced to the metal music I had once worshipped as the only necessary music, Rage Against the Machine, Bullet in the Head, supplied the backdrop for some serious anarchy. Other than Matt, I only really knew Dave Randall, who was off his tits, and Jane, who I really don't know, but is more of a coarse acquaintance as opposed to a drinking chum. She is a hottie though.
Oh, here we go.
We've got a new one on the go.
Hope you get her number as well.
I woke up today in a fairly groggy state and decided it would be good to go for a swim. I wanted to use up my energy so I wouldn't be nervous about collecting my degree result. It felt good too. It's getting easier each time. After an hour, the time had come to head down and just find out the result. There was no envelope to open, just a piece of paper with student numbers under the 4 different degree classifications. With a measurable amount of relief, I found my number under the classification 2-2.
Yeah.
Woohoo! I was relieved rather than thrilled. Throughout the day, there was disappointment evident in some people's tone. Some surprises too, that Ewan got a 2-1, which he is thrilled with. Anita got a 2-2, which she isn't happy about. Matt and Rach both got 2-1s. I chilled in the interval for a while, played some pool, picked up the swimming and water polo team photo. I headed home after a casual game of footy to get ready for the exhibition. Mum and Phil came down and enjoyed it to an extent. I think they lost interest when they pursued a man afar. A tramp.
A tramp? What's going on here?
I don't know. I didn't.
They were distracted by everything that I've achieved over the past 3 years by a tramp.
Okay, I'm going to have to start that sentence again. I think they lost interest when they pursued a man afar, a tramp who had located a new temporary home under a tree. I was disappointed to see Rach for the last time, who I was unlikely to see unless I make an effort to go on the beach trip in Hampshire with landscape in August. Wait a minute, what happened with the tramp? Why did we skip forward?
And why were they distracted?
Why were they pursuing the tramp?
They only enjoyed it to an extent and they lost interest when they pursued a man afar, a tramp. So there was a tramp under a tree that they pursued rather than watching your exhibition and congratulating you.
The exhibition was indoors.
Were you still drunk from the night before, perhaps? Because none of this makes sense. We don't know what happened with what's her face, Louise. No, Jane.
Oh my god.
All we know is there was a tramp under a tree.
This is ridiculous. So what? They've been at the exhibition. They've seen my display.
They enjoyed the exhibition to an extent.
Okay.
And
yes.
then they lost interest.
Yeah. Okay. So they may have left between then and seen the tramp.
But they said they lost interest when they pursued.
Yeah, exactly.
A man afar.
So they looked out of a window, presumably.
Maybe he'd stolen something from them and they went to get him.
Saw a tramp.
Yeah, a tramp who had located a new temporary home under a tree.
A man of the
Can
street.
you just fold that page over and check with your mum and come back to it in a future podcast?
We need to.
You need to find out what happened with the tramp.
Quite peculiar.
Yesterday was quite fun, but I was left a bit tired today. It was, of course, France v England. Myself, Matt and Chris were in bar 1 from 4 onwards. We got a free football and beer pint holders from Carling Promotions. The game was great. We beat the Frenchies 1-0, most of the game courtesy of Frank Lampard. But with an all too familiar air to proceedings, England still managed to lose. Zizou with a free kick, then a penalty broke English hearts. No one knew what to do after we were all sitting there stunned. Eventually went home and I watched American History X with the arrogance of the 2 resident Frenchmen, one of whom took a liking to my vodka until I put my foot down.
Damn Frenchies.
I went swimming this morning. I didn't see people I know at the pool, so it came as a surprise to see Veronica, aka Ronnie, there. I didn't talk for long, but asked her about this beach party she's organising in Hampshire. It's on the 6th, 7th and 8th of August, and I'm thinking of going. I went home for lunch, then headed back out against town. I needed a train ticket for Friday, so I went to the station. The woman selling the ticket was 100% bitch. You just boiling your booth, I thought.
Any particular reason?
It doesn't say.
It seems to go 2 ways. I either see somebody and I'm like, I'm in love. Or I look at them and I'm like, what are you looking at? Bitch.
You just boiling your booth. That is so funny.
I think I got ripped off for the ticket, 43 quid. That's quite a lot in 2004.
It is.
I want to spend some more money on CDs, but I think Mum's little guilt trip on spending my overdraft has got to me.
It's a bit late for
Oh,
that
God.
now.
So you spent 10% of your overdraft on your
Just
tickets for
spent
each
10%
party.
if you knew. So his overdraft was probably already £2,000 and he's added another £500.
It got to the point with NatWest where my overdraft was at the absolute limit that it could be from just asking for overdrafts to be extended. And I reckon I must have had about at least a dozen fines from NatWest. And this was before they changed the laws because they're not allowed to do that anymore. It was irresponsible lending at that point. And as a student, I just spent half my overdraft on CDs.
And then you didn't have your 4 hours a week co-op job to subsidise it. So
Nope.
that was a problem, eh?
Seems nothing more than an I can't spend, so why should you stance. To be fair, you are spending money that does not belong to you, that you are not going to be able to pay back.
Yes.
To be fair.
Of course.
Well, that's flawed. Spell Floored rather than Flaw.
Classic.
Classic, badly written boy. She just bought a new car. A very practical...
Touché.
It's not touche.
Something that she probably bought within her means.
Exactly. Seeing as she actually earns money and probably needs a new car to get herself to work, compared to you spending it on beach party tickets. You're probably going down there to try and get laid, let's be honest.
Yes.
Yes.
No doubt.
And it's probably not going to happen, is it?
I don't think I actually ever got down there.
After spending £43.
I don't think I did.
I just heard some of Slipknot's new album, and as much as I'd like to say it's rubbish, I'd only be telling a lie. It's right up my ally.
Ally. With an Australian accent.
Not with an Australian accent,
Right
just a
up my
badly
ally.
spelt alley. Instead, I spent a paltry £2 on a copy of Jungle Strike for the Mega Drive. See, look at you watching you spending. So proud of you. So proud.
Today was nothing day, did now, except for a gin and orange around Anita's because there's no one there and she's sick of Kev, the perv architect. Just her and Simon there in an empty house. And then I've written kinky.
Not kinky at all.
Okay. All right. This sounds a bit kinkier. Steam and sauna. I was keen to get along to the pool this morning, but not alone. Instead, I thought it would be interesting to experiment with my recent routine by inviting people to come along with me. Where is this going? I had targeted Jimmy and Danny, okay, so maybe not that kinky, as a group who might be interested. Danny was the only one who responded. He was keen to go for a swim, despite the fact it was only about 10 when I rang him. I'd always gone to the baths with the intent of swimming and getting fit. But of all the times I'd been, I'd never used the steam and sauna before. Danny thought that this was odd and introduced me to the sweaty delights of doing bugger all in a room of steam. The best part came when it was time to dive back in the pool, and it was very refreshing indeed. I got up fairly late, but still had the intention of going to the pool again. My only regret was the steam room was being retiled, so it was out of bounds.
So you fell in love once again and it got pulled away from you.
Snatched away in devastation.
It's like Helen all over again.
I know.
It's like Helen.
Bipolar. I was in the sauna for a while, but it wasn't strenuous enough for me. I got to the pool to swim, not sit and sweat it out in a cramped room.
But that was your choice.
I know.
You make it out
said
like
it was
someone's made you
refreshing.
do it.
Yesterday I did, but today not so much.
He's complaining. He's like, I came here to swim, but I made myself go and sit instead. Like,
Damn this, sitting down and doing nothing. Damn it to hell.
I wish I was swimming. This is what I came here for. Why am I in here?
Danny and Wace were there and looked on in surprise as I powered down the lane doing butterfly. So basically just showing off. They insisted I did another length, but not before they would attempt their own comedy butterfly strokes. A little later, I went to catch the train up to Newcastle, which I'd paid an extortionate amount of money for. I managed to get the train straight up to the Toon near 5:30 and went for a pre-gig pint. Newcastle Uni is a wicked place for gigs. God forbid, were good, Shadows Fall were average, and Chimera were better than expected. Killswitch Engage blew me away. Adam D is funny as fuck. I jumped about and eventually realised I'd lost my wallet. I jumped about some more, and once the gig was over, I hung about and it eventually turned up. Oh, I think somebody had rinsed the wallet. So I got some money off Michelle and walked home to meet Laurie, Alan and Irene, who I hadn't seen for years.
Okay, this is titled The Mortons. Today we took the Mortons around Northumberland to look at some of the historic sites, and we trudged around Alnwick Castle and gardens, more thrilled with the presence of the guests than the sights. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the gardens. They're coming on superbly, but there was a weird nostalgic sense I got with these people, a totally friendly vibe. Maybe it's because they're Australian, or maybe it's the fact we've known them before Philip was even born. We noticed that these folks are really generous too. Alan paid for the pub lunch, and MasterChef Irene cooked the meal in the evening, which was exquisite. I felt really full after today. They eat and drink much more than I've put away recently. I slept in the living room because the guests were using my room. Irene also appeared. Her folks snored. Oh, so Irene slept there too because her folks snored.
Interesting.
Mum liked to make a big deal that Irene slept in the living room too.
Oh, look, he's changing colour. Look how pink he's gone.
We again went to explore local history today. We went to Belsay Hall, which was in bloom, but it pissed it down like nothing I've seen for ages. Alan was interested in the history, but reckoned he got weird vibes of raising the extraterrestrial topic of conversation at dinner. This led to him revealing his scepticism on the issue. Mum eventually read his palm, which buried his own doubts. Irene once again slept in the living room.
Oh, 2 nights in a row.
But not initially. I was glad she came in when she did. I was just about to watch a porno.
Wow, that could have ended badly.
Which could have led to a quite embarrassing chain of events.
Yeah, no shit.
Instead, we talked about each other's hatred for work colleagues and failed relationships. Can we just rewind a bit? Who is Irene? Can I just have a bit more context?
So when Mum first had Phil, she was in Australia at that point, and there was another three mums, and they were all pregnant as well. So they all had girls, and Mum had Phil, and they all just shared a lot of time with each other, like growing up.
Oh, cool.
And then another set of kids arrived, including me, and a few others had another couple of as well. So we knew them for ages, all family friends.
Nice. Oh, are they listening to this podcast?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Hi, Irene. That would be good if they were.
I wonder
Okay.
if she knows that she nearly walked in on you about to
That is so funny. I thought that was actually going to go really well, but you're like, I'm so glad she came when she did.
Yeah, so did I.
I'd realised I was in love with her, and then no, you were just about to watch a porn. So next day, Monday the 21st of June, Laurie, Alan and Irene were up early to travel down to London. I got up shortly after because I was going back down to Sheffield for the England game. Phil has me playing this wicked game called Half-Life. I'm definitely playing some more of that this summer. I was just thinking my mum will be wicked once I bring my stuff back from uni. Did I get that right? My room, sorry, not your mum. I was like, why will your mum be wicked? My sound system, my PC, my telly, videos, etc. Videos. Oh my
so
God.
cool.
That's so good. Once back in Sheffield, I pretty much went straight home to pack. Mum's convinced I won't be ready by Friday. She doesn't have much faith in me in that respect. She doesn't know how to relax in the knowledge I am capable of such a task. I mean, I just got my degree and she doesn't think I'm capable of putting things in bags and boxes before Friday. Forget about it. This evening was me.
I think I'm getting a bit cocky, aren't I?
You
are a
are.
little bit.
You are
Clearly
very sassy.
a terrible student. I've just got like a bare bones degree, and I'm like, I can do it.
I have a degree.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
No.
Chris left today, the house is looking empty. The life and soul, spelt like the sole of a shoe, of this party is slowly leaving. The life and soul, like spelt like the soul of a shoe.
Maybe it was intentional.
I don't think it was. I think you just
I've hit rock bottom. Sole of the shoe.
clearly of this party is slowly leaving these shores.
Oh, yeah. That's
Swimming away.
so poetic.
I think you try and like maybe you think that a girl's gonna read this and just be like, oh my god, poetry, fap or something. Need more overdraft money. You can't get it.
Just blasted that 500 quid.
Exactly. I needed to get down to uni to pick all my work up, so I went down armed with my tube and portfolio. My emails hadn't been checked in a while. I was surprised to find an email from Helen.
She's reappeared.
What?
What did she say?
I'd
She's
forgotten
zombie.
about her. Maybe subconsciously, that's what was needed for her to get back to me. Yeah, you start sending her an email every single day. She basically apologised for not getting the photos back to me and wanted to know when I was going to Australia and if I was going to be at Anita's housewarming party. I said I probably would. Maybe she'll have got rid of that South African boyfriend of hers by then. Maybe he'll be there. Yikes. To be honest, I'd be a lot more comfortable if she wasn't there.
Oh, change of pen.
From
I wonder
what to
how
what?
you afforded that new pen.
Yeah, thanks to the overdraft.
From biro to fine liner.
Oh, very nice.
England versus Portugal, the robbery. What an anticlimax today turned out to be. In the evening, me and Matt went for a Subway and then went to the lead mill. The atmosphere was superb. The beer was cheap. We had a great time until our winner in the 90th minute was chalked off for a foul on the keeper. It was all bullshit. I've never been so passionate about an international game before. I got myself worked up and shouldn't have. It came back and hurt me. Again, football is cruel. We played with fire when we got home. Oh, literally played with fire. I set a football on fire
Oh, God.
and which summoned an air of excitement as we danced around.
For burning football.
Imagine if we'd won. I think there's a video floating around of us kicking a ball through fire.
I feel like there is.
Yeah,
I feel like I've seen it.
somewhere. A little piece of me floated away as I packed my bags to leave 161 Duncombe Street. My room there had been one of the most character-defining parts of my image for the past 2 years. I put my heart and soul again spelt like soul of a foot, into that room. I didn't enjoy defacing my little masterpiece. I wouldn't have done anything different to it if I had to do it again. When all the posters came down, the room expanded. What had once been consumed by the sound of metal, choked with the air of sweat and graced with the genius of one... Oh, that's up my arse there.
No, that's the sound of you wanking on your bed.
Was once again vacant. Now I'm back home in Cramlington, but to be honest, my bonds of affection have never been solid here. Sure, the family are here even now after everything that's happened in Cramlington. It feels no more like home than it did when we first got here in 99. Personally, I don't know where home is. This little unit that is meant to be my bedroom is lifeless. Even when I get the rest of my stuff there from Granny's, I can't see it becoming any more familiar. Hang on, a couple of pages ago, wasn't I bigging up the fact that it was going to be awesome with all the stuff coming in?
Yeah.
You were.
I don't like the area. I don't like the people. There's no pool I can train in. I have to go to fucking Blythe just to do a few lengths. I'm going to go job hunting tomorrow. I'd rather earn some money and have a shit time than just have a shit time and be skint.
26th of June, Saturday, titled Into the Matrix. There were two phases to my day. One half I was in reality, looking for a job at Shaw's Garden Centre and Focus DIY, navigating around Cramlington. The other half I was in the Matrix. No, not the Matrix. I mean the world that exists between you and technology. In my Matrix, I'm a top scientist trying to save a base being overrun by aliens. It's all in a game called Half-Life, and I'm totally engrossed in it. I reckon I was on it for a good 6 hours.
Jesus Christ.
I wonder how many hours you were looking for a job for. I don't think it was half and half.
No, definitely not.
So Sunday the 27th, I can feel myself falling into the funk of doing jack shit on a regular basis right now. There's a risk of me doing nothing. I don't think it's just a risk at this point.
I love the frankness.
Yeah, 1 month in and Sinead has got you down to it too.
Yeah. There's a risk of me doing nothing when I should be doing constructive little tasks or filling in the Focus DIY application form. I feel like that
So you
should
didn't
have been
actually even spend time doing that yesterday when you said you're applying for jobs.
I feel like that definitely should have been at the top of the list probably, which is kind of stupid because they already know what they need to know from the CV resume that I gave them, dumb bastards. I've got a feeling you're not going to get that job. Mum drove over to Granny's so I could get my computer and shit. No, you know how Mark pronounces things wrong sometimes?
Yeah.
It's like get my computer and shit, not shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's how I read it though. But I still haven't set it up. I can't be bothered. My room is tiny. I feel like a goddamn sardine. I also played football with Ian and his retarded football mates.
So bad.
They suck. But to be honest, I was that desperate for a game. Oh, things are going downhill here fast.
I still know some of those guys.
Well, they're going to enjoy that. I hope none of them are the retarded football mates.
Sorry, John.
You didn't actually name them in there. He would have known that you were talking about
now
John.
you've really
Now
screwed
you
it.
told him.
Didn't say his last name.
You didn't refer to Ian as a retard, but his mates. So, that was unfortunate. Change of pen, guys.
Change of pen.
I handed. Oh, wait for it, guys. Things are getting better.
I'm
We're on the up
excited.
now.
I'm excited.
Monday, the 28th of June. I handed my official application form in for Focus today, telling them everything they already know about me. If they bothered to read my CV or letter, I decided to join the Cramlington Blockbuster on the way back, and I got a few DVDs out, Lost in Translation and Max. The first was the best of the two. Bill Murray is the face of a brand of whiskey he's busy promoting in the confusing but delightful Tokyo, Japan. This afternoon, I was at Ben's playing on the Mega Drive. His PC has been scrapped, so we played and completed Streets of Rage 2 and Golden Axe whilst listening to some good music. He's still got all the traits of a single child, and is quite frankly, do you know this guy? He's still friends?
Not anymore.
Oh, perfect. He's quite frankly full of hot air, but he's a mate and has been for a fair old while.
Eventually got round to signing those passport photos. For me to get rejected by my own country would be dreadful. I feel sorry for the suckers who have to stay in this country, but more so for those who think they have to. I say, get out if you can. I've been playing on the PC too much again. I'm stuck on both Half-Life and Serious Sam, so maybe it's a sign to give it a break. Is that Championship Manager I hear calling? Championship Manager has been the game he spent 12 hours a day on for the last year or so.
Probably one of the main reasons I got a 2-2 instead of a 2-1, I reckon.
Probably. I need to get out more. I really want to swim. I need to get my ass along to Blythe Pool. I just hope it's not a shithole. I've got this idea in my head that there won't be any lane ropes and kids will be pissing everywhere. And kids just kids on the side, just pissing on your head as you're going past. Worst of all, I fear getting totally unfit. Me, Mum and Phil watched The Mask. Forgot how funny it was. At one point, Mum casually asked me what I'd do if I fell in love with a girl in Australia. Told her I hadn't thought about it. You definitely thought about it. I can tell she's thinking about the angles that might lead to me staying there. I decided to take advantage of Michelle's position at the Odeon by snagging some of her free film passes for me and Ben. I didn't know what I wanted to see, I just wanted to get out of the house. After trailing about some record stores, we eventually got to the Odeon and chose to see Lady Killers, a remake of an older film. Then on the bus on the way home, we started acting like a prize dork because there were a few girls across from us. Because you're not a dork around girls at all. Yeah. You're totally cool, calm and collected. You don't text them and email them 75 times. The point is, Ben doesn't have the slightest clue about how to act around girls in general. He's got blatant intimacy issues. I feel like this is a lot of projection. I mean, I might not be successful with the ladies, but I know how not to act.
There you go.
Please write us a bookmark. Please tell us more.
These are the footnotes on how to grow up.
Well, no, it's not. I was going to say, these are the footnotes on how to get a girl. It's how not to get a girl.
Not.
Yeah.
So the end of the month.
That's the end of the month.
Wow. Eventful June.
First guest star.
Yes.
Well done, Sinead. Excellent work. What do you think of Mark? So what do you think of 2004 Mark compared to 2023 Mark?
Well, there's just not much difference, really.
There's not much difference.
No.
Plays too many video games, hoards all of his stuff, cannot speak to women.
Yeah.
No, it's eye-opening. I love it.
It does make us... It can kind of explain.
I feel like the
some
thing
of
that you
this.
were most impressed with was the range of stationery that I used to write down the diary.
I agree. Yeah.
Yes. Shades
yeah.
of black, blue,
I just
and
know
more shades of
what
black.
your overdraft got spent on now. So
Yeah.
that
See-
one pint, a couple of books, and a shitload of pens.
Yes. Yeah, I became a member of Blockbuster.
You did.
That's no longer a thing.
You discovered how great the sauna was and then how shit the sauna was within 24 hours.
And there was a lot of rage.
You almost watched pornography in front of a house guest.
Fell in love with Helen and then fell out of love with Helen.
Yes. Hopefully next month you'll go to the housewarming party at Anita's and maybe see Helen without her South African boyfriend.
We will see.
To be continued.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
And that is the end of the episode. If you know anyone else with ears or eyes, anyone at all capable of communication, be it through interpretive dance or by other means, spread the badly written word. If you don't know anyone else, put some pants on, Go outside, and before they can run away, tell them to click like, subscribe, and follow Badly Written Boy. We thank our dedicated listener base. Thanks, Matt.